is Darren Joseph from HEJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of having a great conversation with Michael and Nuno. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Darren. Good to be here. After a career in consulting in the international tax planning game, I'm now the founder of an investment platform in Portugal with some interesting golden visa qualifying investment products.
Fantastic. And Nuno?
As Michael was saying, thank you very much for the invitation to be here. I'm a tax partner at CMS, which is a Portuguese-based law firm, but present in 45 countries. We have been, and I've been very active in the private clients sector, mostly obviously in respect of taxes, but also touching upon golden visa, and that's why I've been working actively also with Michael in this sector.
Fantastic. Now, staying with the estate inheritance tax, we established that it doesn't exist in the form that we know it in the US, but there would be some sort of stamp duty potentially applicable to Portugal citus assets, but there would be an exemption if it goes to the normal heirs, spouses, parents, kids. If it is that you have a Portugal citus asset and you want it to go to someone who's not one of the usual heirs, therefore would potentially incur that stamp duty or that stamp tax, what are the typical planning tools that someone can consider using to, let's say, optimize or to mitigate that potential tax liability?
There's one thing that is being used a lot in Portugal, which is it's more on financial assets, which is, I don't know, the life insurance plans, the unit linked. I don't know if you are familiar with them. Basically, it's kind of a wrapper whereby people are allocating cash or a financial portfolio into a life insurance plan with the big advantage that while that unit linked is being managed by the insurance company and it's inside the plan, any capital gains, any income which is generated inside that wrapper is completely excluded from Portuguese taxation. And provided you have left that plan active, or if you left the assets into the plan or inside the plan for at least 8 years, when you take the money out, so the capital is obviously protected because it's not income, but the income component would be liable to tax in Portugal at an 11.2% rate instead of a 28% rate that would typically be the case if you would have capital gains in Portugal. And this is something that typically also protects inheritance. By considering someone as beneficiary of the life insurance plan, that could also be stamp duty exempt in some cases, because more for territorial reasons, because the assets would not typically be in Portugal. The estate planning on real estate, it's difficult to plan because real estate is what it is. So you would typically be liable, or you could be liable to tax at the 10% flat rate, which is not bad, because we are comparing with other countries where the inheritance tax or the gifts tax may be 40 or even 50%. 10%, it's still an interesting amount. And for example, in real estate, if I would inherit something from someone who is not my father or my mother or my spouse, and if it would be real estate, my 10% liability would be due on the taxable value on the property, not on the market value. Again, it could be something a bit more residual or less important or less significant. What I'm saying is, in terms of real estate, there is not that much to do in terms of planning, but in terms of financial assets, this bit more complex or sophisticated structures could be something to consider when you are a Portuguese tax resident and you want to plan ahead your death. It's not something very good to do, but I think it's a wise thing to do.
Right. Michael, if someone wanted to reach you to find out more about golden visa opportunities, what's the best way to find you?
Reach out directly. I've always experienced such a warm welcome in Portugal, and people looking at the jurisdiction, I'm happy to make sure they get the same level of experience. Email, it's available on my website, through LinkedIn. I'm generally very, very responsive. Looking forward to engaging with a few more people.
Michael Maxwell on LinkedIn. And what's your website? What's your URL again?
It's portugalpanorama.com. So email address is michael@portugalpanorama.com.
Fantastic. And Nuno, what's the best way to find you?
Look, I think that, again, the email is an option, which is nuno.santos@cmsportugal.com. I think it's probably the best way. And then obviously you engaging, we can talk via WhatsApp or phone. It's fine. All of them work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.